The magic fix-it-all pill of mental illness. You know, people want to assume and guess that there is this magic fix-it-all pill, and there's not. And it's so much trial and error. That's what I think the hardest things is, especially even I went through, is that trial and error and that like hope that we hold on to, that there's this fucking pill that we can take and it cures us all. And it doesn't matter what we have. A lot of times I've ran into people who get really afraid of medication because maybe they had medication, they took it and they went to a doctor, they built up the courage to go to a fucking doctor. They go to a doctor, they go to a psychologist, not spend a lot of time with the psychologist, writes them a script for something, they start taking it. 10, 15, 20 days later, they start feeling worse and they don't think it works. And that's the hardest part because a lot of people don't explain trial and error, what it's really about. Because I've taken medication like Zoloft, I've taken medication Wellbutrin. Those both are antidepressants. Didn't do a whole lot for me. Zoloft made me sleep. Lexapro made me suicidal. Prozac made me suicidal. Adderall saved my life. It's trial and error to find the right meds for you, and it's trial and error to find even the right doctor. And I think even before you start looking for that magic fix-it-all pill, that you find the right doctor that you have communication with, that has an open mind of trial and error. Because sometimes, let's face it, we'll tell our doctors that shit isn't working, and they just start upping our dose. And they keep upping our dose. And we're trying to explain to them, hey, this shit is not working. Sometimes we have to first wait and find that right doctor to have that human connection with, to have that communication with, that trust with, that's willing to go through the process of trial and error. And not every doctor is like that. And you do find doctors, though, that are like that. And that's what it's about, is not giving up that hope. You finding the right meds, once you do, I mean, it's the greatest gift in the world. And you run into these people that are like, well, I don't believe in medication. Okay, then drown. It's the same as saying, I don't believe in life rafts or life vests, and you're in a boat that's sinking. I mean, that's the reality of it. These medications weren't designed by Big Pharma to just make money for things that people didn't need. They were designed by people that actually cared and was trying to come up with a solution for somebody that was struggling. And you can go into whatever angle you want to, but you know what? There are meds out there that help. And it's trial and error. And yes, some of these do have bad side effects. Benzos have a side effect where people can get hooked and addicted to them. So do opiates. So does stimulants like Adderall and Ritalin. But for some people, these are lifesavers. And you can't judge them by what they take. Our magic fix-it-all pill is different for us all. The right dosage is different for us all. I've met people that take Adderall just like I do, and their dosage amount is 50 milligrams a day. Mine's 20. We're all different. And for the ones that are out there struggling, who parents don't believe in medication, why let your kids struggle? The greatest gift my parents ever did was start trial and error with me and letting me know that, hey, if you don't feel the medication's working, tell us. And we'll talk to the doctor and we'll start the trial and error process. Also, got to give it a little bit of time. It's not you're going to take this pill, take a nap, wake the fuck up, and guess what? You're cured. If I haven't taken Adderall for a prolonged period of time and I start taking it again, I notice an instant difference. It's a stimulant. But I can tell you this, when I went through my trial and error with different medications, such as Zoloft, such as Wellbutrin, such as just these different ones that I've been on, Ritalin, even, it was to find out how my body really reacted to it. It takes a while, even with Adderall. I mean, it takes you about 30 days to realize what this medication is doing. And the best thing that you can do is log what you feel. And after you take the medication, what are you noticing? Keep a journal, in a sense, that's more of a log than anything else, and share that with your doctor. Because a lot of times we'll go into our doctor and we'll say, this doesn't work. Okay, that tells the doctor nothing. But if you go into your doctor and say, hey, what I've noticed is I take my medication at 7:30 in the morning. By about 8 o'clock, it's working great. I notice that I'm focused. But I notice right around 11 o'clock, I start to lose concentration. My appetite is shot. I have really bad dry mouth. This starts helping with the communication process of getting details of what's the side effects are, what's happening to you versus it's not working. No, doesn't work. Oh, we'll try higher dosage. Okay, and we don't even communicate back and forth like maybe I want to try something else. You don't have to be afraid of your doctor. And when you are going through this medication route, you have to be open with them. You have to share what's going on with them because they don't know. It's your body, not theirs. Side effects are different for everybody. That's why something that works for me might not work for somebody else. It's all trial and error. We're all genetically different. So dosages are all going to be different. There's different medications. Why do you think they have Ritalin, they have Adderall XR, they have Adderall, they have Visine? I mean, it's all different medication for ADHD. Why do you have to have that much? Well, because some medications work for some people and some don't. That's as simple as it is. And if somebody who doesn't even believe in medication, I'll tell you this, why struggle through life? Why struggle through life? I'm not a doctor, I'm not a counselor, but I am diagnosed with GAD, MDD. I'm diagnosed with PTSD. I was originally diagnosed ADD, then later on ADHD. If you're taking Adderall and you're diagnosed ADHD and the Adderall isn't doing shit for you, maybe talk to your doctor. Maybe they misdiagnosed you. There is such thing as misdiagnosed. People are not perfect, and you have to understand that. And that's okay. It's okay not to be perfect. I mean, we're all human. Doctors are human too. But it's about that communication. It's about that sharing, because if we just keep to ourselves and we don't say shit and we're not getting any better, whose fault is it? It's not the doctor's. It's ours. We have to take responsibility for what we want out of life. And it's hard to do sometimes. It's hard to take fucking responsibility and ownership. But it can be done. And once you do it, my God, it is fucking freeing. It's relieving. It's healing. And you notice all of a sudden each day is a little bit easier and a little bit better. And you know what? Yeah, you're probably going to screw up sometimes. You're going to forget your medication. What do? You start learning ways around it, such as setting your alarm for different times that you're supposed to take your medication. If you're like me and Adderall has a side effect where I don't get hungry, well, you know what? I set alarms to remind me to eat. You find what coping mechanisms work with the medication that works best to fight through life. And the only one that's going to know how to do that is you, and taking ownership and responsibility, going, this is a drug that has helped me the best. Here are my side effects. Here are my coping with the side effects. And guess what? I'm living as normal a life as I can. And that's a beautiful thing to do. It's fucking beautiful. Once life kind of balances out, it makes it a hell of a lot easier. We actually function like we think like we're normal, even though we forget 1 in 4 people struggle with fucking mental illness. But don't go into a doctor thinking that you're going to find this magic fix-it-all pill. And even for the parents out there who, you get your pill, your kid this pill, this medication, and all of a sudden your kid's trying to tell you that it's not fucking working, and you're going, well, then you know what? We don't need medication. That might not be the case. Listen. Listen to listen. Don't listen to respond. People will tell you what's wrong with them. And if you don't feel that your doctor's listening, find a new doctor. And I know sometimes it's easier said than done. I know there's rural areas and stuff. I can tell you this though. If I was in a rural area and my doctor didn't fucking listen to me, and there's only one doctor in town, I'll drive a fucking 2-hour drive once a month to find the right doctor, because that's how important my life is to me. Nobody else is my life. And that's not selfish. That's self-maintenance. That's because I want to be as productive and as good of a human being as I can. I want to be a good husband. I want to be a good dad. I want to be a good spouse. I want to be a good employee. I want to have a fulfilling life. It's worth that. Make sure it's worth it to you, and do what you got to do. But again, don't look for this all-out fix-it-all cure. And sometimes you might be taking multiple medications. I mean, I'm prescribed Adderall and I'm prescribed Xanax. And you know what? They can actually counterbalance each other out. It's not even a cocktail that people think, oh, you're getting fucked up and you're getting high. No, the Xanax is for emergency purposes. When my anxiety gets too much that I'm throwing the fuck up and I'm puking on myself because I can't fucking function, is when I take that. When I start to feel that shaking, I don't get to the point anymore where I even throw up, because I feel the shaking coming on. I feel the loss coming on. I feel the ants in my skin. I feel something is wrong. Something is wrong. I go grab a Xanax and put it in my mouth. About 20 minutes later, a little bit more mellowed out. And I go back through the day. And that's what it's about. It's fighting through every single day. Knowing that you're worth it, knowing that it's worth that fucking fight. So what? I take 2 different types of meds. I don't fucking care. I have a good life. You know, I'm not self-medicating with alcohol and cocaine. So it's worth it. It's worth that doctor appointment. It's worth filling that script. It's worth that trial and error. Because otherwise I'd be sitting in a dark place. I might not even still be sitting there. But I'd be in a dark place just going, why can't I function? Why isn't it getting any better? Why? No, I got to take some fucking ownership and some responsibility for this and start that process. And it's scary. Helps to have somebody along, you know, family member support, friend support, whatever. But it's one that's worth it. You're fucking worth it. Don't let anyone ever tell you any differently. But don't give up on yourself. Keep trial and erroring until you find what works for you. Because you're worth that. Every single fucking day. My name is Eric. If you're new to my channel, it's all about mental health, mental illness, suicide awareness, sobriety, having a little bit of fun. Created a nonprofit organization to bridge the gap between therapy and a crisis hotline of Driven Together that's about sharing tools, resources, experiences, just things to help us fight through every single day sometimes when we don't have a therapist. Peer-to-peer support. Down below in the description, I have affiliate links to Amazon for things that I use to help me cope with my anxiety, to weighted blanket, fidget spinners, even a link down below for BetterHelp, which is online therapy. You know what, it can start there even if you can't make it out the front door. To find out what kind of things you're looking for in a therapist. Trial and error to find out what works for you. I mean, that's what it's all about. I also have links to all the different social medias of mine down there. Feel free to check them out. It's about people helping people. Click that like and subscribe button. Comment down below. Tell me about your trial and error experience. Because you matter. And your experience might help somebody else out there struggling. And that's what you got to remember. You're a BAMF. You're a badass motherfucker. You made it through 100% of your worst days to make it through 2 today. That shows how fucking strong you are. You got this.